It's 11:30 a.m. Good morning and welcome to news from here on GHOne Television. We're live from our studios at the Platinum Place, Northridge, also live on Facebook, on X and on YouTube. Now here's what to look out for in this bulletin. 3-member committee investigating vote buying and inducement allegations in the Ayawaso East NDC primaries to present its report today. Meanwhile, Baba Jamal maintains he is innocent. Also, police arrest woman following arson in Grace Mountain Church auditorium. We'll get the breakdown for you shortly. In business this morning, private legal practitioner Kwame Jantua calls on COCOBOD CEO to immediately address concerns of... And elsewhere, Israeli attacks across Gaza kill 7 Palestinians. Well, I invite you to stay with me for the details of these stories and many, including the latest in the world of sports in the next hour. Well, grateful for your company this morning. I am Joshua Kodjo Mensah. The details now. The Ghana Police Service has arrested a woman for allegedly attempting to set fire to the auditorium of Grace Mountain Chapel, the church led by Alpha R founder, Reverend Elvis Agyemang. Now, the incident occurred on Monday evening at the church premises here in Accra. Now, church security personnel quickly doused the flames before they spread, limiting damage to chairs and nearby fittings. Now, no injuries were recorded. The police say investigations are ongoing to determine the suspect's motive and whether she acted alone. Now, following the incident, Reverend Agyemang has announced the indefinite suspension of in-person Alpha R prayer sessions, citing growing hostility and what he described as demonic influences. He, however, assured congregants that the auditorium will be repaired and online prayer sessions will continue. The attempted arson was disclosed by Reverend Elvis Agyemang during Tuesday dawn's Alpha R session. Followers have since expressed shock and solidarity with the church leadership.
Praying in the auditorium, others were praying. It's like she's praying all of a sudden, and I appreciate our security so much. I appreciate from the way the one constantly on the CCTV camera caught that swift move and informed the security to rush her. I'll show it to them how swift the lady was. Well, put petrol. Look at that. Affairs, look at that. So please, if you come there today, it may not be open tomorrow. But one thing is, it won't stop us. It won't stop us. We will fix the place. And prayer will still go. It won't stop us. How many times have we not heard people say they heard something and they rushed to the auditorium to come and pray? And last year it was Obi who powder. We stopped people from going near the auditorium and we prayed the power of God into the auditorium so that the altar will be sanctified.
Well, that's Reverend Elvis Agyemang narrating how the whole incident happened. And since then, there's been quite a lot of reaction on social media, with some pastors as well sending in messages to commiserate or basically share in the pain of Reverend Elvis Agyemang, and also reassuring him of the victory that comes after such incidents. But let's get to social media now. Nana Akwa is joining me with some of your thoughts on this particular incident. Nana, quite a disturbing situation there, but what's the reaction like on social media?
Well, Joshua, it is, because Alpha Hour is booming and there are so many people that are following. But this is what we have from X. We have here, she even used her hands to sprinkle the petrol. People are tired of these fake pastors, and I don't blame them. That's someone's opinion. We have here, but we have... I see. Then we also have Pappy. Why are people like this, honestly? This man minds his business and just preaches and prays. What really is hate about? We also have Aaron. This is some level of stupidity. We have Slade. Choose the life of love and starve the devil. We have Prince here, but those sitting around, couldn't they see what she was doing? I mean, that's the discussion we're also having in our office here as well. Our question says, people ignorantly claim that Antoine is not powerful because someone stole something from them, blah, blah. If the God they are serving has any power, how can someone burn his altar? I know this won't sound sweet to them, but that, he says, is the reality. Kodjo says, may God have mercy. The work of God will continue regardless, and many will be saved. May God protect the ministry of Grace Mountain and Alpha Hour. It has come, she says, to stay. Therefore, it's very interesting how people are saying we need to hear her side of the story. You don't know how hate runs deep in people's heart. People literally hate God and everything that concerns him. Lots of things in church. Wow. Then we have another Akofa here. We will Alpha till. Even if we have to sit outside under the sun or in the rain, nothing shall be by any means stop us from going to the altar. Confidence says they are coming physical. God still reigns. We also have Richard. If someone can set a whole auditorium on fire, then those markets and shopping mall fires are not by accident. We also have Mr. Ahinkra. This is a sign that the world is full of hate. Don't joke with your life, brethren. He's advising there. And that is what we have. Continue to send us your messages on Instagram, Facebook, and on X. Reverend Ajamine, we are with you. I hope everything gets sorted out. My name is Nanama Akwa Joshua. Back over to you.
Well, Nanama Akwa, thank you so much for bringing us people's thoughts on social media on this particular arson situation we've seen. But away from that, the NDC parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso East constituency, Baba Jamal Mohammed Ahmed, has denied allegations of vote buying during the party's recent primary. So in a statement that you see on your screen, which was issued on Monday, he confirmed appearing before a committee chaired by Kofi Totobikwache, which is investigating claims surrounding the exercise. Baba Jamal reiterated his innocence, firmly rejecting any attempt to induce voters. Now, he noted that he has previously contested primaries in the constituency and has always accepted outcomes in the spirit of party unity, adding that his growing support within the constituency is based on his initiatives, integrity, and commitment to better representation. Meanwhile, the three-member committee investigating the alleged vote buying and inducement is expected to complete its work today and present its report to the party. Now, speaking on this development, private legal practitioner and a member of the Convention People's Party, Kwame Jantua, says the NDC parliamentary candidate for Ayawaso East constituency, Baba Jamal, erred in his response to allegations of vote buying following the party's parliamentary primaries. According to him, Baba Jamal's TV interview admitting he distributed gifts to delegates, but not as an inducement, leaves much to be desired.
What kind of ludicrous and warped system do we have in this country for elections? Ludicrous and warped system. That the person who pays the highest bidder wins. What kind of system is this? And then we sit and think that, oh, it's okay, it's right. We turn an illegality into illegality. That you pay your delegates for transportation. Is it the same as giving televisions? Is it the same as giving televisions? And let me ask the question. When Parliament came in and said they should annul, had Baba Jamal made his statement and had he been recalled by the president?
Yeah.
Yes. He made his statement before the president recalled him.
Absolutely.
If he kept quiet, I don't think that would have happened. He's admitted. And, you know, the individuals won't go and hand the TVs out. It's their people who go around, oh, wait for Baba Jamal, wait for wait. Isn't that how they do it? And we think it's a good system for our country. And we are defending it because of our political parties. Is that what we are saying? Are we children in this country? So why didn't they give it to Christmas? We just finished Christmas.
Yeah.
Why didn't they give those gifts Christmas? What kind of system are we running in this country? I don't really understand why political parties don't take the responsibility of their delegates. What happens to the dues? Isn't the responsibility of transporting delegates to locations for elections? Isn't it the responsibility of the political party?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you see, what then happens is that you don't get the right people in parliament or in government. Look, and I keep saying it, and I'll continue to say it. This personal interest thing that we practice in this country, if it doesn't stop, it will bring this country to its knees.
Well, let's get more on this development by speaking to Dr. GHOne, who is a political strategist. He's joining me for more on this development. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. So we are told by Baba Jamal that indeed he's appeared before the committee and he insists that he did not engage himself in any form of vote buying or inducement, but then he only provided gifts to the delegates. Really, what's your stance on this whole matter and the fact that the NDC is investigating it?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I couldn't get your question.
Fantastic. So I'm asking, Baba Jamal maintains his innocence. He's appeared before the committee and he stated that clearly that he's innocent of all allegations surrounding vote buying and inducement. And I'm asking what you make of that response.
Well, good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you. Sorry, good morning to you. Good morning to you. I don't know the basis of which Honorable Baba Jamal is denying or saying that he is innocent. Anything, he's a lawyer, and so probably he's giving it an interpretation from a legal background, which probably indicate that you are innocent until proven guilty. That's fine. But against the backdrop that he himself has asserted to the fact that he offered some gifts to some delegates, and if I read it correctly, he said that he is someone who is fond of doing good to people. And so gifting is not anything that he feels or finds it difficult to do. That's okay. So what is he fighting for? What is he denying? If you have given a gift, you have given a gift. And if people are accusing you of giving a gift within an election period, that is also an issue for discussion. So, yes, he may deny, probably the legal considerations will favor him. But people are listening, and it is up to a discerning Ghanaian, to probably understand whether he is innocent or not. So for me, I think that he has the right to fight his own battles. But I think that the issue against people is within the context of marriage, but not to probably give a fight where people may not side with him.
Right. But Doc, is it about the gifting or the timing of the gifting? Because what he has not denied is gifting the delegates. But he says it is not meant to induce or buy their votes.
It's not about the gifting. All right? It's not about the timing. But it is about the inducement. All right? If you are gifting somebody at a particular time, for the person to act in your favor, yes, that means an inducement. All right? That means an inducement. So what it means is that within that process, the timing with which he was gifting, providing items to people, feeding people, giving money to people, is something that we need to question, and that is what Ghanaians are questioning. Right. Did you do that as a philanthropist based on the fact that people will have to vote for you. All right? That is the bone of contention. All right? So, as a lawyer who understands the law, who can argue within the context, it would have been good, for him to have, considered the legal basis of that act of philanthropy. Okay, because as far as I am concerned, the representation of the People's Law 1992 and PNDC Law 284 is something that probably we should have considered. Okay?
Right.
And if he, as a lawyer, understands it very well, then probably he would have known that gifts, loans, money are all inducement, especially when it forces someone to act in your favor.
Very well.
Okay, so that is the issue.
Okay.
The issue about, and you see, this whole thing is not about just Baba Jamal. Any other person, who acted within, this angle without any, consideration for the law, is equally guilty.
Very well.
All right. Probably Baba Jamal's name all over because he is a public figure, because he occupies one of the highest positions of the land, and a government appointee, a seasoned politician for that matter, and above all, a lawyer. So obviously he's the one whose name will be coming forth and there.
Well, Doc, thank you so much for engaging with us and sharing your thoughts on this matter with us as well. That's Dr. Tutubuahin. He is a political strategist. Meanwhile, board member of the Volta River Authority, Wanda Victor Kuto, has alleged a calculated move by the NDC in setting up a party committee, stressing that the committee must be allowed to perform its duties without interference. He spoke to me earlier on GH Today.
The party has set up a committee, which have the majority leader on the said committee at the time. So why the haste? Why the rush? Allow the committee to do its work and come up with its findings. You see, my view is that the majority in Parliament wanted to influence the decision or the outcome of the investigation. That is what comes to mind when I read their statement. It was a calculated step to interfere in the affairs of the committee. From where I see it, and I must say that the majority, they took the step. Their letter was a calculated step to interfere and influence the decision, the yet to be published report of the committee. I thought that they could have waited and allowed the committee to do its work. But no institution is permanent. It's perfect, sorry. No institution is perfect. So I wouldn't blame the majority too much. My only advice is that next time, if a similar issue happens, they should go slow, take their time, and allow the system to work. But I wouldn't say because of this one error, I want to condemn the majority. I wouldn't say that. But on this particular note, the majority could have done better.
Now, former Member of Parliament for Doma West, Ali Maiga Halidu, is urging the Special Prosecutor, Kiseja Ben, to concentrate on alleged issues surrounding the NDC's Ayawaso East primaries rather than involving the NPP. He stresses that the NPP should be left out of this brouhaha.
This is humbly advice to you. We are in opposition.
Right.
And don't come and meddle in our face. Deal with Ayawaso. Deal with Ayawaso.
Right.
In fact, there's allegations some people, they paid, in fact, we've had 3,000, we've had 5,000, we've had motorbikes, we've had, they say Kibo Gari. In fact, Abonika, I've had Abonika. I also had Cristiano Boku. These are the issues.
Allegations.
I agree with you. These are all allegations. But that calls for investigation, isn't it? So Kiseja Jabu should focus on that.
Right.
Kiseja Jabu should focus on and leave MPP alone.
Okay.
We've done at our primaries, we've elected Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and we believe that in 2029 he will be the president of Ghana.
Okay.
So he should.
Now, the Central East Motor Traffic and Transport Department says it will strictly enforce traffic laws in Kaswa this year with little tolerance for offenders. MTTD Commander Superintendent Hannah Ajay says while public education will continue, it must be backed by firm enforcement to be effective. She stressed that traffic offenders will be prosecuted, revealing that 14 drivers were arrested in Kaswa last week and have since been arraigned. Superintendent Ajay assured residents of sustained efforts to ensure smooth traffic flow in the municipality and warned against unauthorized activities within the central business district.
And we will also continue with our educational programs at lorry stations, schools, churches, market centers, and so on. But you're very sure say enforcement no I am more.
2026 is going to be a year of enforcement. Although we have had educational programs at lorry stations, schools, churches and market centres and so on, we will ensure that enforcement is stepped up. We've always said dedication without enforcement is like entertainment. So this time, we are going strictly by the regulations. Last week, for instance, about 14 drivers were arrested in some parts of Kaswa and were sent to court. That same week, we conducted road safety operations with law enforcement officials. We will continue to ensure safety on the roads to avoid accidents.
Yamiadom Central East Kaswa in particular, the traffic there.
You're still watching news from here on GHOne television with me, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. We'll take a breather and return with more. Kindly stay with us. Well, you're still watching news from here on GHOne television. Let's bring you the business.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
Well, in business, the Ghana Cocoa Board is blaming the erstwhile New Patriotic Party administration for defaulting on its contractual agreement with foreign financiers of the syndicated loan, leading to a disruption in the agreement. In an address to the media, Chief Executive of Cocoa Board, Dr. Randy Anete Abe, noted that for the past 32 years of the syndicated loan arrangement, a default had never been witnessed under any government except the immediate past NPP administration. He expressed that the situation has led to financiers taking action, culminating in a lack of funds to pay cocoa farmers for the cocoa beans purchased.
Of the syndicated loan came up, and that also had gone on for close to 32 years until we started having problems with, first of all, 2022, declaring that, look, we could no longer fulfill our commitments under the cocoa bills, and therefore we're restructuring. Immediately you do that, you're sending a certain signal to the public that I can't pay my bills. It's just like the DDP. So that is what happened. And so no wonder 2023 we saw a near collapse of the syndication.
Well, so let's get on Zoom now and engage the former head of corporate affairs at Cocoa Board, Fifi Boafo. He's joining me via Zoom. Fifi, thank you so much for your time. So there's been a lot of allegation being thrown around by Dr. Randy Abe, especially regarding the erstwhile administration, where you were speaking for Cocoa Board, that indeed some legacy debts is why we are where we are. Really, what's the situation from your perspective?
Well, let me state that it's unfortunate that Cocoa Board, despite the challenge they find themselves in, instead of being candid with everyone and letting the public understand the challenge they face, they've opted to rather scratch the issues and failing to address it head on. I say so because the challenge Cocoa Board is facing at the moment is because the price they decided to offer the cocoa farmer, if you just suppose it at how much the market is offering today, every cocoa sold will result in about $3,000 every ton of cocoa, result in about $3,000. Therefore, it is difficult for the management of Cocoa Board to sell at this time because of the prevailing market price, and they have rather decided to apportion blame to other people instead of agreeing to the fact that there was some dereliction of duty on their part in predicting right the market and selling when the market was high. By failing to do so, now they are unable to sell, and that is the reason why they are not getting money for the cocoa farmers. They do not want the public to know that there was some negligence on their part in predicting the market, and for that reason, they've opted to rather blame the previous administration. And that is obviously not what has led us to this point.
The situation, because primarily they predicted wrongly and now they have to bear the brunt. That's what you're saying, and not as a result of what happened in the previous administration.
That's what it is. So if you look at the time the Ghana Cocoa Board set the producer price, they told us that they were going to get an average of about $7,000 for a ton.
Right.
For which reason, $5,040 we paid to the cocoa farmer, and then the remaining amount will be used for other industry costs. This gave you an indication that they knew very well how much they were going to realize from the market, out of which a percentage will be paid to the cocoa farmer, about 70% of it will be paid to the cocoa farmer. The question is, why did they not sell? Because at the time of announcing the producer price, the world market price was around $10,000. Why did they not sell? Why are they selling? Why do they intend selling now? For which reason they are able to do so? Because of the fall in the price. Now the world market price is around $4,000. So every cocoa sold will result in a major debt on the books of Cocoa Board, and they're unable to do so. But you see, the reason why we are here is because these persons who are talking today were part of the people who told us that it was wrong for us to do forward sale, for which reason it was difficult for them to do the forward sales of cocoa. And by not being able to do the forward sales, of course, there are some other issues also going on at Cocoa Board that made it difficult for them to prosecute the forward sale policy. That is what here. Indeed, I talked about some other problems going on at Cocoa Board. The chief executive of Ghana Cocoa Board and the managing director of Cocoa Marketing Company don't see an eye to an eye. Of course, that is not supposed to be part of our problems, but it has become part of our problems because the Cocoa Marketing Company is supposed to provide technical guidance in decision-making for the sales of cocoa.
Right.
The chief executive of Cocoa Board is supposed to be the chairman of the producer price review, is supposed to be the chairman of the team that will set the price for sales of cocoa. Now they are unable to meet. Or even when they meet, there's no collaboration, there's no understanding between them. And then they sat there, allowed the price to fall from 10,000 to 4,000. Now the cocoa is available. We are told about 300,000 metric tons of cocoa is available, unable to sell. You remember, the chief executive was on television saying that Ghana cocoa is too expensive. Since when did the cocoa of Ghana become expensive? Ghana's cocoa has always remained premium cocoa. So it's not today that the cocoa from Ghana is expensive.
Right.
It has always been the case. The only reason why they are complaining is that at the time they were supposed to sell, they failed to sell. Now the price has dropped, they are unable to sell.
Because there's also the allegation of forward sales that your administration entered into, and you're told that we're not able to meet the obligations, and that is also accounting for where we are.
Well, Cocoa Board over the years has practiced forward sales. And the forward sales has its advantages and disadvantages.
Right.
One of the disadvantages of the forward sale is that if you're unable to get your projections in terms of how much cocoa you intend producing in a year, the reality is that you not be able to supply the contract you have signed. So you roll those contracts over, and in the subsequent years you supply them. This has been part of Cocoa Board for many years, and indeed it's not a new thing. I remember in 2017, when MPP took over, there was some forward contract that of course, by just saying that, of course, the previous administration was supposed to do something which they did not do, and that is why we are here. The real problem we face today is because they failed to sell when the market was high, and now the price has dropped, and now they do not have a way out.
Right. Well, Fifi, thank you so much for engaging with us. That's Fifi Boafo. He is former head of public affairs at Ghana Cocoa Board, who says that, the fundamental issue is not because of the challenges associated with the former administration, but then they clearly to managerial decisions and politics for debts inherited.
It's not because of that. It's because the legacy. No. Price. or to allow the dollar to jump to offset the difference. What way they go is a problem. Because you promise cocoa farmers, you can't go and
member of the cocoa beans. Now he urged authorities to actively involve private sector in processing and value addition. Today, Kwame Jantua also charged the chief executive officer of Cocoa Board to resolve issues with the board chair and put an end to internal politics affecting the industry.
What we do to cocoa and stop exporting beans home. If we were to add value to cocoa, this edifice of Cocoa Board, would we need it? Because there are factories in this country that are buying the beans and turning the beans into liquor to export. Is that not more money? If on every cocoa farm, we can have a small processing plant where as the beans come in, they are turned into. We make more money than selling beans. How do we pay cocoa farmers when we don't have the money to pay them? How do we pay cocoa farmers if we don't structure it properly? My good friend Randy should solve the problem. The president put him there because the president felt he had the wherewithal to be at Cocoa Board. Solve the problem with your board chairman. Stop the politics. Cocoa farmers are people we depend on.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has called for an emergency cabinet meeting tomorrow, February 11, to address the crisis in Ghana's coal sector. According to the Minister of State in charge of Government Communications, Felix Kwatiofosu, a post on his Facebook page indicates that the meeting will focus on identifying solutions to the current challenges facing the industry. Well, that's it for business. We have more for you.
This brief was brought to you by Compu Ghana. Passion for technology.
Now, let's talk about corruption and corruption-related matters, because Ghana has scored 43 out of 100 in the 2025 Corruption Perceptions Index, ranking 76th out of 182 countries, according to Transparency International Ghana. Although the score shows a slight rise from 42 in 2024, the organization says it does not reflect any meaningful improvement, with Ghana remaining largely stagnant around the 42-43 range since 2020. The report attributes the performance to persistent corruption, weak enforcement of laws, politicization of state institutions, and fragile accountability systems. It further cites the discontinuation of corruption cases, political interference in justice delivery, and weak institutional independence as key factors undermining Ghana's anti-corruption efforts. Now, globally, corruption is worsening, with a global average score at 42, which is the lowest in over a decade. In sub-Saharan Africa, the average score stands at 32 out of 100, reinforcing the region's deep governance and accountability challenges. Well, it's time for sports, and Monica Bukari has joined me with the latest.
Bukari. Now, the National Recreation and Wellness Program has joined the Parliamentary Training Institute to tackle lifestyle diseases head-on. The two organizations launched a high-energy 3-day aerobics initiative in Adar. The initiative, themed Active Today, Healthier Tomorrow, is a strategic national intervention aimed at moving beyond the gym, focusing on preventive health to combat rising rates of diabetes, hypertension, and obesity across Ghana. The program emphasizes a total lifestyle overhaul, promoting consistent exercise, healthy eating, and a reduction in tobacco and alcohol use. The initiative has gained high-level support from the Parliamentary Service. Wing Commander Frederick, retired Principal Marshal of the Parliament of Ghana, joined the sessions, calling the program a game changer for those seeking a long and healthy lifestyle. National coordinator for the program and technical advisor to the sports minister, Honorable Betty Crosby Mensah, says the goal is to inspire Ghanaians to make active living a daily habit.
I am here with my hard-working team.
Continues to serve a key venue for several national and international sporting activities. Preparations are also underway for the More Athletics Championship, scheduled for May. In response to concerns about the condition of the facility, the Director General of the NSA, Yao Ampofo Ankara, has assured that there have been no complaints so far regarding the stadium or its tracks. He further emphasized that Ghana is fully prepared and ready for successful hosting of the beach soccer tournament slated for May.
Yeah, sure. As I said, the head of athletics is definitely on point. We've not had any adverse reports or complaints. Everything is on course, per their schedule and timetable. I think what we need to be also focusing on is getting more corporate support. It's huge. Every time you host such a championship, it is quite a colossal cost, and they're doing well to make sure that they bring in corporate Ghana and global corporates to support this championship. So far, I believe the tracks, I've not had any reports that would suggest we have a problem there, but I'm sure everything is in place. Absolutely, the home of beach soccer is Laboma, and definitely we will be ready to host a very colourful and spectacular event here. So, yeah, let's look forward to that in May as well.
And in the Ghana Premier League, Abdul Karim Zito has officially stepped down from his role as head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko Sporting Club, just days before the club's highly anticipated Ghana Premier League Super Clash rivals Accra Hearts of Oak. The club confirmed the development through its official social media platforms, stating that Zito's resignation takes immediate effect. Zito's departure follows a period of mounting uncertainty surrounding his future, particularly after Kotoko's recent elimination from the MTN FA Cup, a result that intensified scrutiny over his team's performance this season. By choosing to resign, Zito effectively avoided the possibility of dismissal. Under the terms of his contract, any termination by the club would have required either a 1-month notice period or a compensation payment of 120,000 Ghana cedis. Meanwhile, assistant head coach Prince Yawuso has been tasked with temporarily leading the squad, supported by Mohamed Hamza Obain, as the club searches for a permanent replacement. The duo will be expected to stabilize performances and guide the team through a transitional period. And that will be it for sports. My name is Monica Bukari.
Time now for the international news. The attacks in central Gaza have killed 3 Palestinians. At least 4 Palestinians were earlier killed in an Israeli attack on a residential building in western Gaza City. Raids, arrests, and attacks by Israeli forces across the occupied West Bank. United States President Donald John Trump opposes Israel's annexation of the West Bank as global criticism of the move grows. Now, the 6th batch of returnees, comprising 40 people, arrived in the Gaza Strip via Rafah crossing. Israel's genocidal war on Gaza has killed at least 72,032 people and wounded 171,661 since October 2023. Now, an estimated 1,139 people were killed in Israel during the October 7, 2023 attacks, and about 250 were taken captive. Well, that's all in this package this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Do have a wonderful afternoon.